Hello, everybody, and welcome to the inaugural episode of Gamecult Radio. I am your host for the evening, John. Nice to meet all of you. Welcome to the first ever show. We will be aiming for about an hour. Each of us is going to bring a topic to the table. We discuss that for however long we damn well please, and then we move on. This will be our pilot episode, so the format may change sometime in the future. We may add or lose more people. It will depend on what happens. I would like to start this show going around and introducing ourselves. My first person, of course, will be myself. I am John. I have been a gamer for a very, very long time. I've only recently begun to expand my horizons, however. I've recently gotten into tabletop gaming as well as literature, but then again, I've been into that for a while. Recently be getting into a lot more movies as well. Starting to broaden my ideas on what a good movie is. It's been very interesting for me. To my right, through the internet, we have Rhino. Rhino, introduce yourself.
I'm Rhino the Legend. Yeah, I've been playing games for just as long as John has. Like, you might have seen on the profile that I don't get a lot of sunlight. And
He's a pale bastard.
yeah, that's mostly the reason why. Video games, anime, occasionally wrestling, even though that's gone really downhill lately, but
I used to be a fan of wrestling as well, but that was back in the 90s. Now I get all my information through Rhino.
don't expect wrestling to come up that often.
If something big happens, we may discuss it. We're all general fans of wrestling still.
Yeah.
Is that it?
I think so.
Alright, then we move on to our third participant for the evening. We have Drift. How's it going?
Hello, everyone. Yes, my name is Drift. I am the outsider. I have been video game enthusiast for about, I want to say since I was like 6 years old. Probably a little bit later. I don't really remember, but I do remember the first game I started out with Sonic, and then after that I just flew into every single console that you could imagine. I might not have owned all of them, but I was a big enthusiast, like I said, of a lot of video games and consoles. And my second love is writing. I haven't written in a really long time, though I started out as fan fiction and eventually just worked up into my own original short stories. I also do enjoy watching anime from time to time. Not anything too long. If it has at least 12 episodes, I will give it a shot. And I am a big horror fan. I am a big,
I was about to
big
say,
horror fan.
you're a big whore? That's news to me.
No, only on the weekends. But I am a big horror fan. In fact, that's how my writing started. I just wanted to mix any elements of video game culture at the time I was interested in with horror, and I've been doing that ever since, although I recently started taking a break. I think that's it for now.
That's just about it. All right. Well, welcome everybody to the show. Hopefully the first of many. Our first topic for the evening is we'll be discussing toxicity in gaming, specifically online. And to start this out, I'd like to discuss, we've all had problems with toxic players at some point. We've all encountered some douchebag who's just ruined our fucking evening by being a complete cocknob.
Yeah.
I used to play League of Legends a lot, and this is where I experienced such a great deal of toxicity that I had to stop playing that game completely.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that was fun. Drift has experiences with League of Legends as well. But
Personally, I'm an on-break Halo matchmaking player.
currently embroiled in Destiny. I can't imagine why.
More on that later.
Yeah, more on that later. That'll be coming later in the show. But yeah, toxicity. It's always been a problem in gaming. Ever since, even before online was a thing, there was always message boards. There was always people online or people you knew or met that were just assholes. We as gamers, we as nerds, we all know what a toxic person is. That horrid snob you run into at the comic store is just like, oh, you reading that line of Spider-Man comics, and you should be reading this one. It's written by this man. He's amazing. What you are reading is drivel.
The example that comes to my mind when toxic gaming is that fucking dickbag who like wastes the time and effort to like actually message you on a game rather than just go on to the next one.
Right.
Yeah.
The guy who takes the time and effort to actually open up his menu, find you in his recent players, send you a message. That is just a level beyond dick.
On Xbox Live, you on Xbox Live, let's think about this for a minute. Not a lot of people have the chat pad, and I'm pretty sure not too many people have the chat.
I don't know of anyone who actually bought that. I don't know.
Not a lot of people have I don't think many people go on the website and send messages through there. So that means, as far as Xbox Live is concerned, a lot of people who do this shit have to go and enter their long ass message through the freaking with the freaking controller keyboard thing.
I will give them this. That takes dedication. There's no two ways about it. That is impressive.
Right.
So.
And a lot of the time I've noticed that they have the most notable one I remember, and not getting into it just yet. I remember a lot of these guys have the MLG icon.
Oh, we'll talk about Major League Gaming at some point.
Yeah.
Save that for a different show. I've got quite a bit to say on Major League Gaming and professional esports in general.
Toxicity in gaming, though. I've dealt with my fair share of it as well. It is just horrible.
Like, the most recent one that I've encountered is just somebody sending me. I was playing the console version of Team Fortress 2 of all things.
Sorry about that. I had to go take care of the dogs.
He had to handle his beast.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, but anyway,
hounds.
But as I was saying, the most recent time that I've encountered this form of toxicity is on, of all places, the 360 version of TF2, which, if you don't know, if you weren't around at this time, it came out on the orange box disc. Still a pretty fun game, but basically,
and not to mention the orange box is still an amazing fucking deal.
Oh yes, without a doubt.
Yeah. Of course.
Well, I think we'll talk more about the orange box when we get into Half-Life and Valve.
Me and one of my good friends that I play TF2 with, like, we were just looking to have a good time on, again, of all places, Hydro, but a little more expected on this version because,
Xbox Live.
And like only 6 maps or whatever.
Yeah.
About that, I could be wrong, but the guy was all like, the guy just sent me a message and he was all like, "Oh, turn Demoman back on, you fucking retard," or no, turn team auto balance on, was what he said.
Now,
like,
for those of you who play TF2 on the PC, that may sound really strange. Turning Demoman off? What? You have to understand, if you're not aware, TF2 on the Xbox 360 has no updates at all. All the stuff you are used to, like all of the balancing that comes with all the different items in Team Fortress 2 on the PC, does not exist on Team Fortress 2 on the Xbox.
It is very vanilla.
It is the essence of vanilla, and as such, it can get very unbalanced very quickly when you've got an entire team of demo men with any sort of skill that will just sticky bomb your entire base. So as such, we sometimes as hosts, you have the option of turning off or limiting certain classes. I, for one, limit everything to 2, just because I don't want an entire team of scouts or an entire team of spies. Because it may sound ineffective to the PC players, but you don't have any items to mix up the gameplay on the Xbox version, so it can get pretty pretty hectic pretty quickly.
But you might have noticed that I also corrected myself there. It was team auto balance that he was ticked off
Okay.
at. And turning team auto balance off, it usually doesn't turn out to be that big of a deal. I was mostly doing it that way so I could play with my friend.
Yeah, that is why we do
And
it.
here's the thing: you can't change it from within the game.
Nah.
And I saw this guy switch teams over to my team, and since I was in a party, couldn't hear it. But I could see his microphone pop up on the screen, obviously saying that he's talking. From this guy's attitude, I can definitely understand. I got an idea of what he was saying there. When the game was over, my friend left the Xbox Live party, and when they came back, they were all like, let's just find a different game or boot him or one of those two."
Can you actually boot people? No, I don't think we could.
Yeah.
In the lobby.
In the lobby,
Oh,
you could,
right,
but not in the
right,
game.
yeah.
Kind of weird, but whatever. Again, Xbox version of TF2. What are you gonna do?
Well, my experience with toxicity actually happened, I want to say about a month or two ago. It was in, surprise, surprise, League of Legends.
Yeah, or your latest one of anyway.
Yeah, and what happened was it was when the Doombots update was out, and for those of you who don't know what the Doombots are, it's basically, well, I should probably start out with what the bots are. When you first start playing League of Legends, you have the option to go right into PvP, although I don't recommend it. You can also fight against bots. And, these bots are just... You can fight against normal bots, which are stupidly easy to kill, but they pretty much they're pretty much there, so you can grasp the concept of what you do, what your ults do, your abilities do, everything like that.
It's practice mode.
Yeah, it's a tutorial, basically.
Yeah, and League doesn't have the greatest of tutorials. It really doesn't.
Yeah, the starting
Dota
tutorials...
has a really good tutorial.
I haven't really played Dota.
I've been playing a little here and there. It's in some ways it's more complicated than League, and in some ways it's a little more simple. And in some ways it's a lot better, and in some ways it's kind of confusing. It takes a lot. If you're used to League of Legends, you are not going to be able to jump straight into Dota. The items work differently. The abilities are different. There are more passive abilities. And it's not as much just jump into a team fight and spam your abilities until you either win or lose. It's a little more strategic. It's a little more thought out. Matches go on for a little longer. Anyway.
Well, okay. So, the Doombots are...
I would assume they're just like hyper cranked up AI.
Right. They exceed past the intermediate bots, which at the time were the intermediates were the hardest. They were kind of like human players, although they made mistakes now and then.
And they were they knew what you were going to do before you did it.
Right. The Doombots were a whole nother level, though. I mean, they had the same abilities. Actually, no, I can't even say that. Their abilities were mixed up with other champions. So, a bot that had... So, if there was a certain bot you were fighting against, they could just... If there was a certain bot you fought as a regular bot, and you're fighting now against them as the Doombots, they potentially could not be that same bot. They could be a whole different champion, a whole different layout. So, it's kind of like... It's going to be really hard, basically. And
So wait. So, let me get this straight. Doombots are like, say like you're going up against a Doombot Lee Sin, but he could have like Annie's abilities.
yes,
That's fucking crazy.
it is. And on top of that,
Who thought of that?
Riot.
Fuck you, Riot. Jesus.
Wait,
What was
wait,
that?
what?
So
Yeah.
it essentially means that abilities are unbound. You could run into any champion, and they could use any other champion's abilities.
Yeah, and on top
How
of
the
that,
fuck do you combat that?
you pretty much hope for the best, honestly. You hope for the best, you plan out your attacks, but on top of that, there were tiers of Doombots. So it started at 1, I believe, and then it ended at 5. and one was the easiest. I don't think their ults were really crazy at one, but at level 5, um, first of all, let me describe an ult so I can give you guys a little sense of direction here. An ult. Let me describe Lux's ult. Lux's ult is a huge beam that fires across the map, and it deals a set amount of damage, although it is really high.
An
Right.
insane amount of damage. That is a fucking nuke.
And it's really high compared to all of your other attacks. The Doombot version of Lux could fire 8 beams all around her, pretty much in a circle. So if you're
Fuck that.
so you're dead if you're pretty much next to her, and she
Fuck.
activates that.
Wow, there's some sadistic fucking people at Riot.
I know, but it
That
was
is
honestly
heinous.
really fun.
Jesus Christ.
It was fun. I'm not gonna lie, it was fun. But it was my first time playing, and my friends, my league friends, took me on a Doombot 3 game. I didn't start out at 1 the first time playing. I started out on 3, which is, well, from what I hear, it's not as hard as 5 and the others, obviously, but it was still pretty hard. So I went into the game as Annie. She's one of my mains next to Fizz because I really like going mid.
Honestly, I was always a Trendemir kind of guy, which probably explains why I had such a shitty time.
Well, I don't know. I've seen a lot of people fuck shit up as Trendemir.
Oh yeah, well the thing with Trendemir is he's really easy to shut down. Like if he doesn't have a good early game, he's fucked.
Right. Oh yeah, yeah. So I went as Annie.
Not now.
I went through. I was up against a Malzahar, and Malzahar on Doom is pretty much instant death if you're not careful. And sorry for dragging this out, but I'm already getting to the toxicity part.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I kept dying, obviously, because it was my first time playing. And this one guy, he's just like going nuts at me. He is flipping out. He's saying, "Annie, don't die." And I was like, "Oh, cool, dude. Grade A advice you're giving me right there. That's totally going to stop me from
I
dying."
fucking hate it when they did that.
And usually when people give me toxicity, I think the best thing to do is just ignore it. Don't let it build up. Don't give the guy the attention he's so desperately craving for.
Yeah, that is the. And did he just continue on with that? Or was it just like continued?
Well, he told me don't die once. Well, he was blaming me for losing mid, but it's a Malzahar and it's on Doombots. I mean, that's
Malzahar is a fucking hard mid as it is.
right. He's like completely magic based, and you always got to focus on whether you're gonna build a, straight up attack damage or defense or
That's just the way League is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like anyone that plays League knows exactly what we're talking about here.
And even if you do build defense, it's not really gonna matter because it's a fucking Doombot. These guys are gonna kill you with 1 or 2 hits, especially if they have a stun. God help you if they have a stun.
Yeah.
But, anyways, this guy, my teammate, he was on the bottom lane. He already pushed his lane to the top. I was struggling to get through. Eventually, I did, but yeah, for the whole duration of the game, he was just egging me on about how I'm a bad Annie, how I should just stop dying. I should help defend him.
Oh yeah. Just stop dying. That always my favorite. Just
It
stop
is.
dying.
It is
Thanks.
ridiculous.
That's great.
This is grade A advice, guy. That's totally changes my outlook on life.
I had a shit ton of toxicity playing League, and there were 2 reasons why. One, I played random. I didn't have a group to play with me. Because
Okay.
I actually played before Drift did. Like, before Drift got into it, I'd been playing for a long time.
Yeah.
But I always played random. And 2, I sucked. I was horrible. I sucked at the game. I played Tryndamere because it's what I play, because it's what I like, because it was in the fray, it was action-oriented, and he wasn't that complex. He just required good timing. The problem was, League of Legends has a little issue with lag. So my ult is based very specifically on timing. There were a few games where I had a good early game and I could just wreck shit. But majority of my games were bad, and I lost a lot. I had lost a shit ton of times. And as a result, I experienced so much fucking hate. Irrational fucking hate from these people. Just like, I remember one game very vividly. I was top laning, solo top laning, against a Darius and a Blitzcrank. Which, if you have no idea what that is essentially a top lane go fuck yourself.
Yep, that is hell in a handbasket.
Especially for a somewhat squishy champion like Tryndamere, because Tryndamere is comparatively kind of squishy at first. But he can deal out shit tons of damage if you build him for criticals. Yeah, I was going up against a Darius and a Blitzcrank. And when I saw this, I'm like, well, I guess I'm never leaving the turret.
Oh boy.
I was pushing just a little bit, and I got just beyond turret range, and Blitz pulled me, Darius spun, and they bled my shit to death. I died. It was the first death of the game. It was already like 5 minutes in. We were doing pretty good, and what do I see in chat? The mid Talon just like, fucking noob, don't fucking feed, you fucking faggot.
Oh my god.
One fucking death. One goddamn death.
That's uncalled for, dude.
It really is. And that's pretty much on par with the level of shit I had to put up with in League of Legends. I got all the way to max level, though. I got all the way to level 30 by myself, just playing with randoms, losing constantly. It was hell. But you know what? I fucking did it. And you know what that means? I don't ever have to go fucking back.
You beat it, so you're done with it. There's no more suffering.
I'm fucking done. Rhino, you got a story for irrational hate?
Yeah, the one we were talking about earlier, actually.
Oh, yeah, the one with that one douchebag.
Right.
Regale us of the match.
I moved to refer to these people as that guys.
That guys, yeah. That's
I like that, yeah.
That's a good way of putting it. Alright. So,
remember, kids,
regale us with the match in which you encountered that guy.
The game Halo Reach a couple years ago.
I like that game. I don't care what anyone says. That was a good game.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, the game was Halo Reach a few years ago. Somewhere towards January or February of that year, but that's not important.
Yeah.
Important was we were playing on Sword Base, and we were playing on Sword Base, Rumble Pit. There's this guy significantly higher ranked than anybody else, including me in the game.
Because, Bungie matchmaking. It happens sometimes.
Yep.
Yeah. Of course, Reach's ranking system was broken anyway, but...
Well, we'll get into that when we get into the Halo franchise.
Trust me, when that happens, I'll talk circles around both of you.
Oh, yeah.
Rhino is the much bigger Halo fan when it comes to any of us.
But anyway, I just proceed through the game as normal. He kills me. I remember him teabagging me, and I'm surprised that word doesn't come up more often in this conversation.
Well, we haven't really gotten to first-person shooter.
I found him, killed him, and I killed him a few more. I killed him a few more times, and all of a sudden, I see that guy quit.
Oh boy.
That's always the first sign.
I see that guy quit. I think, whatever. I'll just keep playing. And I kept playing, and I see that guy sent you an Xbox Live message.
Was this after the match or during the match?
He sent me the message after. The match was still going on when I got it, but he had left. Remember?
Yeah.
But I finished the match before reading the message, And
We still talk about this to this day because it's that fucking beautiful.
he was all. I finished the match, and I won, by the way. I was happy to say that, but not as joyous as the humor brought forth with this message gave me, or made me. Yeah. Let's see here. What did it say? Fucking American knob. Using armor mod. Using armor mod probably. Can't play the game right without hacking because you're so shitty, or something like that.
Oh
There's
my
about-
God.
Now be aware, me and Ryan had been playing Halo since the original. We've been playing that for we're pretty damn good. We're not great, but we're pretty damn good.
Halo TMCC next month, but yeah. And I was laughing for about a week. Like
We all were.
constantly. Like I didn't play any more matchmaking later that night because I was just so busy just pointing and laughing at this stupid freaking message that I got.
Oh,
Let's see here.
the brighter side of the brighter side.
American fucking American knob using armor mod. What the fuck? Armor mod.
I think he meant armor bot.
What's an armor bot?
It's a hacking program. I can't really tell you. I don't know much about him. All right, well,
I know aimbot. And people like this, man. People like this. Freaking stupid. Freaking stupid people.
idiotic.
That's what this is. Like, it's just a game, and when you freaking lose or get killed repeatedly, these freaking whack jobs just snap, go nuts.
Some people are just unstable, I suppose. And those kind of people really shouldn't be playing this kind of competitive games, you know. Like if you're that prone to like violent outbursts, even if it is just, you know, like screaming and yelling and shit, it's like, dude, calm the fuck down. Don't play that game. Obviously, you're not mature enough to play it. That's just my view, though. You know, I know some people are gonna disagree with me about that, but
the ASRB never asks you to clarify if you're mature or not.
yeah. So how do you define mature? Yeah. All right, Rhino, you want to bring together was it a Smash, right? That's what you wanted.
I don't know, guys. What do you want to talk about first, Smash or Destiny?
Well,
I think we can close out the show with Destiny because I think we're going to be going on about that for a while.
yeah, it's true.
So let's talk about let's talk about Smash, our history with it, how much it really does mean to us, and how we like the latest version. I've only played the demo. I don't have the full game yet.
I do.
Rhino, you do. Drift, did you get it?
Well, this is well, first of all, I've played the demo, obviously,
Yeah.
and I bought the game. However, it has not shipped yet, and I am eagerly awaiting it to ship, which is
That's that. Let me guess. That's that thing you've been saying. Hey, it hasn't updated yet.
yeah, I wanted it to be a surprise.
Okay, that's what you're talking about. All right. Well, yeah, Smash has always been it's always been a big part of our childhood because we grew up with. I remember playing the original back on the N64.
Not as much as I do too. Not
as much as we played Melee and Brawl though. We played the shit out of those games.
Oh hell yeah!
Especially
I think we broke a GameCube. We played Brawl so much.
Really?
Or was it Melee?
Yeah.
Which one was
Melee?
on the GameCube?
Melee.
Melee was that's right.
We're all into it.
Super Smash Brothers Melee.
Oh man, the
Love
memories
that
of
game,
that game.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, like
main Link, son. I didn't in Brawl though. In Brawl, I actually made Lucario.
I mean, Samus in both.
You
well,
just wanted to
yeah.
stare at Zero Suit Samus's ass. Don't lie.
No.
but Zero Suit Samus wasn't in Melee.
Yeah,
That's right. She wasn't.
I never played Brawl.
You ever played Brawl?
No, because like I was going to when I had my Wii, I was gonna buy Brawl, but like I saw it was still like $30. And I was like, oh shit, I don't know about this. So eventually, I just Yeah, I got tired of the Wii because I just bought it so I could play a lot of my old GameCube games, and then I got rid of it. But I don't know, I just never got a chance to play Brawl. I wanted to though. Yeah, I just never did.
I remember Brawl. Brawl was a very good game, but we played Melee so much more.
Yeah, me too.
Holy shit, we played it so much.
I sunk a good number of hours playing Melee.
Oh god, I wonder how many. God, we stayed up all night once trying to unlock all the characters.
Really?
Yeah. Don't you remember that, Rhino?
No, that's been eons ago.
Yeah.
Did you not have like a memory card or something?
Oh no, it was when we first got it. It was when we first started playing, and we started playing a lot, and we wanted to get all the characters. Back then, we didn't have access to the internet. You got to remember. So
Yeah.
we kept trying for characters that we didn't know didn't exist. I remember
But back
that.
then, I knew a lot of the characters because like I had the power, Nintendo power.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Ah, Nintendo
Like I knew how
power.
to unlock Mewtwo and stuff.
Yeah.
And Mewtwo was a bit of a pain to get.
Oh, yeah.
But
Who was it we had the most trouble? Was it Luigi?
probably Mewtwo because Luigi, you just have to remember in adventure mode when you cross the finish line into the fight against the Mario Brothers.
Oh, that's right.
Oh
You
yeah.
had to time that right.
Oh yeah, I remember
it's-
that.
The timer had to end on a specific second. So really,
Yeah.
if you knew what you were doing, like not that hard.
Yeah.
But the problem with Mewtwo was you had to play so many combined hours.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. That is the one we had trouble
And-
with.
And I think you might have had to. Sorry, I think you might have had to beat Classic with all characters to unlock Game and Watch
Yeah, that was a good
in a
game.
long time. But
Falco was my main. Well, Falco was my main at first. With with Melee, Falco was my main, and then eventually I started using Samus, and I just have so many good memories with that game because me and my brother would just like stay up all night just playing the shit out of that game, and he would always use Captain Falcon, and this Falcon against Samus always was a really fun fight. It was just so
Rhino
great.
wasn't your main Captain Falcon? Oh, that's right, Roy. Oh, right. I got my ass handed to me so many times with Roy. Jesus
I just
Christ. That fucking
hours went away.
That fucking charged up like flame hit. Fuck you.
Oh God.
Fucking
No.
instant KO'd me every fucking time.
every time, no bull crap, dude. I barely hit you with it.
Oh, don't even give me that. I remember getting knocked every time I got knocked out of the ring. It was some form of that fucking move. Or it was either that or his like side smash or some shit like that. But I remember getting knocked out of the ring by that fucking big flame hit a lot.
Yeah, well, it takes a year to charge up. So if you're standing in front of it, well, I think Master Hand's will's been done for you.
Yeah. See, the thing of this is, I suck. I am not a very good Smash Brothers player. Rhino, however, is fucking amazing.
I've played in a couple tournaments, never won in one.
Yeah.
Like never won a single match. But had I been in practice, I could have got somewhere.
Yeah. I almost beat the first guy.
Yeah, it was in the first of actually 2 tournaments that I've ever played.
Yeah.
Like I had a really fun match against this one guy at a tournament that was being held like
At
around
a
here.
local convention, right?
Yeah.
That was the one at that.
Yeah, and yeah, it was Falcon versus Toon Link. Me being Falcon, the other guy being Toon Link. Or was it Toon Link?
I don't remember.
One of the links. And like it took him so long the first time to it took him so long to kill me for my last life. Like the people watching, they started to freak out at this, and man, that was a good night. I lost against the guy, but it was clear that both of us had a good time. Felt really good. Felt really good walking out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Because let's face it, everyone on the side or every one of us that was with our group, like we were done.
Yeah.
It was about 7. We wanted to go home.
Yeah, it had been a long day.
Sounds
Anyway,
really fun.
let's jump back onto the subject of the newest Smash Brothers.
I will be talking almost completely about the 3DS version because
That's the one that's out right now.
That's
is
the one
the,
that's
is the
out.
Wii U
and
one out? I don't think the Wii U one is out yet.
No, it's not. It comes out in November, I think.
But anyway, Rhino, what are your impressions of the newest Smash Bros? How does it stack up against the others?
Well, that's a bit hard. That's a bit hard to say. There are some. Give me a minute. Give me a minute here. A lot of the new characters are, at the very least, interesting. Like.
Yeah. You tell us some of the new characters.
Yeah.
I've actually got it open right now, but you could have guessed that.
I could hear
So
it. Yeah.
the new characters are Rosalina and Luma, Bowser / and the Koopa Kids, because the Koopa Kids are alternate skins to Bowser Jr. Palutena or whatever, or however you call her, from Kid Icarus, Robin from a certain variation of Fire Emblem, Little Mac, who might be the best new character. Greninja. Greninja's a pretty darn good character. The Wii Fit trainer. Wii Fit trainer's interesting. I'm not sure what I make of Shulk. Shulk's weird, and I'm not sure how to explain how. And the ones I didn't mention are clones.
So let's just not mention clones. How about that?
They're worth mentioning, and that we got to talk about them.
I know we got to talk about them. I want to talk about them.
The new clones are Dark Pit and Lucina, or whatever.
And they are clones of.
Dark Pit is a clone of Diddy Kong.
No, yeah, I figured.
And no, Dark Pit was a costume back in Brawl.
It was. It fucking was. And is his moveset different in any way?
Not really.
Of course.
Like I don't know the fine details of every single character because I've only had it for a couple of weeks and I'm not the most observant guy out there. But
yeah, well,
the clones aren't that much different aren't too much different than the ones they've cloned. And Lucina, a clone of Marth. My old main was a clone of Marth, and he's not here. So
Roy.
Yeah. But it's like as long as I got Captain Falcon nowadays, though, I can survive.
I have a problem with clones. I'm gonna be honest. I hate it because it seems so goddamn lazy. It seems like they're just taking up space in the roster. You know, Nintendo has such huge pool of characters it could pull in from. Could make some really interesting movesets that could really shake up the foundations of the game. Who are some people that we really wanted to see in Brawl that are not in Brawl, but in Smash Brothers that we really, really wanted to see that just they weren't there?
Does it have to be from Nintendo?
Well, let's just say let's stick to the franchises that have already been pulled into Smash.
Maybe Waluigi, but
well.
A lot of people were pulling for Ridley, but I never really understood that.
Ridley, the bad guy from Metroid. I think he works better as an assist trophy. You know who I would like to see? I know we only just got Mega Man. But you know who I would like to see because he's my personal favorite Mega Man character, even though I'm not that big into Mega Man. Zero.
Proto Man or bust.
Proto Man would be interesting, especially because he's got the shield, you know. But I'm talking like X era Zero. That was my favorite, just because he's got the fucking laser sword and that huge ponytail. I like that design. It is a really awesome design. I think he would have been fucking perfect for Smash.
I've heard a lot of people complaining about Mega Man in that he's very weird to use. But he's
very odd.
There's one bit of credit that character will always have, and that's that it's got the most hype Final Smash in the game.
That is true. That Final Smash is fucking phenomenal.
Like
every incarnation of Mega Man just jumping in and wrecking your shit.
Rather blasting your shit from across separate timelines.
Yeah.
2 separate timelines, 5 different Mega Mans. Mega Man Legend.
Pretty awesome. Pretty awesome.
Legends Mega Man is there. That's a.
For some fucking reason.
When it comes to clones, though, I did hear Sakurai himself speak on the matter, and that's something about clones are added towards the end of the development cycle as extras. That's a little more fair than just deciding in the middle of development, hey, yeah, let's just copy this character.
Yeah,
That's assuming that I'm remembering this right.
The show. Yes,
I forgot a character.
Oh, you did?
I forgot the dog.
Oh, right.
The dog from Duck Hunt.
Oh,
Initially,
boy.
I was skeptical, and then I made a big ass of myself online.
Oh yeah. Do regale us what you have done.
It was only like 2 matches, and I wasn't like, I don't even think you can send messages to people. Like, I'm not that kind of ass for myself, but every chance I got the one taunt that makes the Duck Hunt dog laugh. Or, hold on, I'm gonna correct myself. The character's name is Duck Hunt, so the entire game is playing. You're playing as an entire video game when you're playing as this character.
That's pretty awesome. What is his final smash?
A menagerie of light gun related paraphernalia attacks the enemy.
That's pretty cool.
I figured the camera would have zoomed out and you would see like the flashes on the screen from the light gun. They would just pop up all over the screen, killing ducks and people.
Remember,
They would have made
what
that
I was hoping
awesome
for
sound.
was something closer to, say, remember how in Brawl Snake had the grenade launcher?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have loved to see something like that, except like the background of the stage turns into like Duck Hunt, and you were able to like shoot him with a light gun. That's what I would have preferred. But
Yeah, but
with what they got, what we received with the Duck Hunt Dog's Final Smash, pretty all right.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, he does feel like a Game and Watch type character, but in that a lot of his attacks are not like his attacks; they're just from a bunch of different related games.
Well, technically, Game and Watch does get all of his moves from the same franchise at least, because all the moves he gets them from are his own. I mean, they are his own games. They are all Game and Watch games.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
So technically, he
is
in all the games.
I guess this is like I put it a few days ago. The Duck Hunt is representing the light gun. That's what it's doing.
Okay, that's pretty interesting. That is something I like. I like it when they put in characters like that. I don't like clones. I'm sorry. I just do not like the idea of clones. I don't see the point of putting in like Dark Pit. It doesn't make any sense to me. Do forgive us for some of the noise in the background. Life goes on, you know. None of us have soundproof rooms. This is not a professional show.
Yeah.
And plus, it's our first one.
Yeah, it's our first episode, so yeah,
And
there's gonna be hiccups.
Anyway, back to that type of character. I'm not sure if, to an extent, Pac-Man can be that sort of character. To an extent.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah, Pac-Man's a new character, isn't he?
Yeah. You know what? You know what? Despite Pac-Man's recent not goodities, you know what? It's great that Pac-Man's in this game.
I agree.
His taunt, like, one of my favorite things about him is his up taunt, and it's like a random sprite from some random Namco game, I guess. I don't recognize all of them. Mr. Game & Watch is this character to, the Game & Watch games. Duck Hunt is this character to light gun games.
Yeah.
Pac-Man is, at least to an extent,
A train.
Oh god, that is really loud.
Pac-Man is not a train. Tell reality to shut up.
Yeah.
But, anyway, to an extent, Pac-Man is this with Namco.
That train really wants to be part of this show.
Yeah.
Fuck
I
off,
guess
train! It's our show!
You can make him a
Back to,
guest or something.
Welcome back to Train Cult Radio.
Apparently.
I'm not sure how much I would actually...
You'll probably hear dogs in the background.
I'm not sure how much I would actually play as Pac-Man against like other players, but you know, Pac-Man's a pretty cool character.
Tell us about the online.
Oh yeah, you played online a little bit, haven't you?
Is there lag? Tell us like about your experience, just like playing online.
Well, I only pretty much played against one guy, and there was a little lag at first, but as the game went on, it became harder to notice. I'm not sure if that was just our connections just happened to work, but the lag wasn't that much of a problem. But if we were playing, say, a four-person match, I would expect much more lag. Four-person matches brings me to the next little thing that should be expected with this game, at least on the base 3DS. Like, there's going to be a lot of times. There's going to be several times when you lose track of what's going on.
That happens no matter how you play fucking Smash Brothers. You're gonna
Like
lose track of time.
Right.
Not time, but not time. I apologize. That was a slip of the tongue. I looked down at the stopwatch. I'm sorry about that. And it slipped my mind. Anyway, yeah, you're gonna lose track of your character. Smash is hectic. It is the definition of fucking crazy. Shit on screen, people flying, explosions.
It was harder to lose track of your character, of course, in the previous Smash games because we had a full TV screen.
Yeah.
This is more of. This is a little bit of annoying thing by that they have. That's a product of choosing to put it on a handheld, which.
That's why I got the XL.
Well, I didn't get the XL because I didn't feel like paying for another one. So.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. Same.
I got in with the XL, so. And I think it's great. I love the XL because I'm a bigger dude. I got bigger fingers, you know. So it's a lot nicer for me to have a much bigger handheld.
Yeah.
And most people complain, oh, it doesn't fit in my pockets. Well, wear bigger pants. Fits in mine fine. This is your problem, skinny bitch.
Just wear a fanny pack.
There you go. They're coming back in style, right?
Oh yeah, totally.
Fanny packs get all the chicks. But anyway,
What's up, baby? I got a fanny pack full of condoms. What's up?
Oh god.
That'd make a nice gamer tag. Fanny pack full of condoms.
I wouldn't doubt that existing.
Oh my god.
It probably does.
You got killed by a fanny pack full of condoms. Back on topic.
The lack of subspace emissary mode in this.
Lack of a story mode, you mean?
The lack of anything like subspace emissary is.
I like subspace emissary. That was fucking cool, man.
Like I don't know if it's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be on the Wii U version, but I really doubt it. But
that would be a nice addition, nice incentive to buy the Wii U version. I'm gonna say this, Nintendo, if you're listening.
John, the only people listening right now are the NSA.
Yeah. What's up, dudes?
But yeah, that's a little disappointing, and I'm pretty sure. And I've seen a few cases where that's like directly driven people not to be interested in the game, in this version of the game, and that's understandable. If not,
really, yeah. I can totally get that.
However,
Because the past two Smash Brothers have had some semblance of a story mode. I mean, you had adventure mode in Brawl. In Melee. Fuck.
And Subspace Emissary was adventure mode.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, essentially.
In this game, you get Classic and All-Star.
What is All-Star mode?
The same as it's always been. You have one life to kill every other character in the game.
Oh, right. I never played that. I don't know if I just sucked too much or if I never bothered to get it. I don't know.
Well, you could only get it after you unlock Game & Watch.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense because, you unlock the final character and...
Yeah.
You go through all of them. That makes sense.
Yeah. Actually, maybe All-Star mode was... Maybe All-Star mode was unlocked by beating Classic mode with everybody, and Game & Watch was unlocked by, just beating Classic mode after you've gotten everybody.
Oh,
but
maybe. I can't remember. I cannot remember.
The new characters, we've already gone over them, but I think that, in my personal opinion, I would say that the best new character is Little Mac. A lot of people say that he's overpowered online, but I'm not entirely sure. I'm not entirely sure how. But granted, that's coming from minimal online experience.
Yeah.
Mm. Well, isn't he? Didn't they make him so he's like really powerful? You know, on the ground and with his fist, but in air he's just defenseless.
Um,
I'm pretty sure I read that.
That would kind of make sense, him being a boxer.
Yeah.
It would kind of make sense to him be a lot like Link used to be, or maybe still is. I'm not sure. Where Link was really heavy, didn't move very fast, but he had the Master Sword and could do a lot of damage if you got hit by him, because some of his attacks were kind of slow.
Right.
Speaking of Link, his his A attacks, they seem a lot more like his standard combat attacks from his games, and I appreciated that.
Yeah. I did like that. Again, I've only played the demo, so I have very limited experience with characters. But I like I like the way Link feels in the latest one. It's nice.
I guess the only thing else to really talk about is the stages with Omega Form, or the Omega Form stages, or the Final Destination stages.
I have not heard of this.
I like this. When you switch, when you're selecting a stage, you get the option to press X to turn it into. It says Omega symbol.
Final Destination, right?
Yeah, they're made flat. The stage hazards are gone. So basically, every map is or every stage is a different version of Final Destination.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
That is awesome.
I think there's a lot of variety.
Yeah, that is cool. I like that.
I really do. So in closing on this topic, it's not Melee.
Nah. Is it at least on level with Brawl?
Definitely on level with Brawl.
Alright, well, Brawl was a damn good game, so I think we can all agree that this latest Smash Brothers is a good addition to the franchise.
Yes.
Yeah, totally. Especially since it's on handheld now.
Like, them putting it on handheld, despite those who don't have like XLs or anything having trouble keeping track of their characters sometimes.
Well, they are coming out with that another 3DS to help with that. We'll get into that when we talk about Nintendo, though.
It's great that there's a Smash Brothers on a handheld now. That's fantastic.
Oh yeah. All right, so time to wrap up the night with the third topic, which will be the big one here. This is where we're probably gonna be spending quite a bit of time, which is
Destiny.
We'd explain more about it. We explain more about it, but we don't have time to explain. We don't even have time to explain about having no time to explain.
Exactly.
Now, Rhino and Drift will be talking mainly about this because I do not have Destiny because I don't have enough fucking time to play Borderlands again. Yeah, that's my feelings on the game. It looks like I'm a huge fan of Bungie. Me and Rhino both are. We're both big fans of Bungie. However, Destiny looks a little too much like Borderlands for me. And while I like Borderlands, I'm not a huge fan of the gameplay, honestly. It's too much bullet sponges, you know? It's just it doesn't feel fun enough. And I looked at Destiny and went, that's an interesting concept. I like the MMO aspects, but I'll have to see how they're done. And you know what? I wasn't really that impressed with the reviews it's getting, and what you guys have told me. I'm really not impressed with it. I'll probably be getting it at some point, probably for Christmas. But other than that, I'm really not that interested in it. I'm more interested in what I'm interested in about Destiny is playing with you guys. That's what I care about.
Yeah.
Getting to play with you guys in Destiny is going to be fun. However, I don't know how much of it is going to be Destiny itself and how much of it is what the fuck we're going to end up actually doing in it.
Well, I never really did co-op with friends, so I can't really speak on that just yet. But
you've played a lot of the story, right? Right?
We played a lot of quote-unquote story.
I've played a lot of something, I can tell you that much.
We played a lot of campaign. That doesn't mean there was any story worth a damn there.
There you go.
But fucking having leveled my character up to like 20, my first character up to 20, and my next character almost up to 20, I don't really know what the hell's going on. That's a problem. When it comes to the story aspect, the first biggest what would be the technical term for this? Cock tease. Like the first one. The first one of those that they give you is you go see the guy who speaks for the big ball in the sky. And the big ball in the sky is a big kettle of fish on its own. And he's all like, I could tell you about this, or I could tell you about the battles at blah. I could tell you about, but those are stories for children now, and somehow the children keep. Point is, the one guy who can talk to freaking big space magic Pluto god here. He's just all like, I could tell you about it, but I'm not gonna.
Wow, that sounds fucking
yeah.
lazy.
I mean, okay. Picture a game. Picture a game that has a little bit of Halo, that has a little bit of Borderlands. Combine that together, and you think that would be a fucking match made in heaven.
Yeah, for me, that would have cured my ailments with Borderlands. My problem with Borderlands is complicated, but a big part of it is the story. It's stupid and idiotic, and I thought maybe, just maybe, the guys from Halo could take the gameplay of Borderlands, which is decent, and go, we're going to make a Halo-esque story in this kind of gameplay mechanic.
And they done fucked it up.
Yeah, they done fucked it up.
They fucked it up hard.
But we're gonna be saying like a lot of negative aspects about this game, but that doesn't mean it's not fun. Rhino and I have been playing this game for days on end.
Which I just cannot fathom why.
Because
once you play it, you'll know.
Yeah.
Once you actually.
That's the problem. I know you're right. I know I'm gonna get stuck into this game.
The drive for better gear, the drive for better weapons, just the drive. The thought that you could get something good out of it is what drives you.
Feels.
The loot.
I did my time in WoW. All right. I'm doing my time in the Old Republic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kettle of fish for a different day.
Yeah, we'll talk about MMOs on a later show.
But this game is good, although I'm not gonna lie that there are a lot of aspects about it that are just done really wrong. Case in point, the loot system. While the loot system is really fun, and I just said a minute ago that you're driving for loot, it is severely flawed in that legendary loot, they are not rewarded. They don't reward you with legendary loot for your skills, your prowess. If you beat a boss, especially on really hard difficulty, in under like 5 minutes, they don't reward you for that. It's all randomized. And I just think that's a bad way to do it. Yeah,
you see, most places, most games that have a loot thing, they have what's called the minimum loot threshold.
Right.
And that is depending on the type of character, depending on the type of environment, depending on the difficulty of the boss, the dungeon, the raid, you will get a minimum kind of loot. Everyone can expect to get something. So everyone can expect to get, okay, I'm going to get something from this general pool up of loot. And that's a problem that seems to be with Destiny. I don't know personally, but I have experience with MMOs. I have experience with the loot systems. Now, I know about this shit. And it seems to me that Destiny has kind of fucked up its minimum loot threshold.
Yeah. It is, the loot threshold, from what you said, it's kind of there. It was there with the Queen's Wrath event, obviously, because the Queen's Wrath event was, you do bounties, special bounties, and what bounties are basically, they're just little kind of tiny missions where it's like, kill 100 of these guys with only headshots, or kill so and so many guardians in the Crucible, which is matchmaking, using only headshots, and you get points for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what you could do is after you complete a bounty, you would get one mission point for every bounty you completed, and you could cash in one mission point to do a special Queen's Wrath mission. And you were always guaranteed a legendary item if you did these missions. It sounds great, doesn't it?
It does sound great.
However,
Oh boy.
These were like
y-
one
y-
of two legendary items.
Right.
Depending on what you played.
Oh.
you could only get, well, there were supposedly, I think, was it six? There was 6 or 7 legendary items you can get. However, every time I did the mission, I only either got chest with a chest piece or a helmet, and there weren't different helmets. There were like generic Queen's Wrath event helmets or generic Queen's Wrath events chest pieces. And for the first 2 days, I believe, this was actually really good because you could dismantle that armor and get legendary materials out of it. But Bungie came and patched that so you can only get Hadronic Essence out of it. And what that
Fucking Bungie.
is basically just
That's the warlock. That's the warlock key. Or that's the warlock armor upgrading material.
yeah. And I already have 2,000 of that, so I do not
Jesus.
need any more.
Seems like they done fucked that up.
They really did. I mean, and the rewards
God, man.
for upgrading within the Queen's Wrath event, they were only rare weapons, which I bought so I could just give it to my lower level other characters. But for high levels like 28s or even 25s, it really wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth putting the time and, just it wasn't worth putting the time in for the event.
That's true. Like after I realized, hey, I'm just gonna be getting the same legendaries from it, and I'm not gonna get any ascendant stuff. Like I just stopped paying attention to Queen's Wrath.
Yeah, I did too.
That's the problem. The minimum loot threshold works when there is a lot of stuff above it. That's what makes getting loot rewarding. Is you've got a lot of stuff that you may not want, but it's still legendary or it's still rare, and then you've got just a few like really rare legendary items. That's what makes beating up like say there's a specific item you're going for. It's only got like a 12% chance to drop from this one specific boss in this one specific raid, and you really want that weapon. It would just match your build so fucking perfectly. That's what people drive for. That's what people grind it in WoW for. I mean, it just seems like they're not understanding the fundamental concept of, having to strive for really good varied loot.
Yeah, that's exactly how it is.
Because variety in loot is another thing that keeps people coming back. Is if you have this massive pool of items that could drop from bosses and because what a lot of times they do is they'll have dungeon specific loot pools where they've got all of the items that are related to that dungeon, not related to a specific boss or area in that dungeon, and it's this massive pool of like dozens and dozens of items, and that's what keeps people coming back. That's what keeps people interested. Is every boss you get has a minimum loot threshold of some of those items that you can grab, and you'll almost never get the same item twice. That's what makes it interesting. If you get the same item again and again and again, people are gonna stop playing real quick.
Wasn't Vault of Glass kind of going for that?
Yeah, Vault of Glass. I think, Vault of Glass kind of pulled that off well because in the chests, and for those of you who don't know, Vault of Glass is Destiny's raid, which is really, really tough if you don't know what you're doing. But
haven't you actually completed that one, Drift?
Yeah, I beat it. I want to say like a week or two ago, and The first time we were playing, it was on a Saturday or Sunday. It was one of those days, and we kept losing at the final boss, and eventually Tuesday rolled around, and my friend loaded up his game. He went back, and he just messaged me like, "Dude, it reset." So we had to do the whole vault over again.
Oh.
But there's a good thing about that, though. The good thing is we were able to find, the chests again, and we got some, ascendant materials to level up our armor and stuff. So it wasn't all bad.
Hmm.
I haven't really gotten to actually play the raid, but like the Tuesday reset for it does seem all right.
Yeah, it's not that bad,
Oh
honestly.
yeah, once a week reset's pretty. It seems pretty good for a raid. I think that's what WoW goes by.
Let's see here. Let me refund my place. What was I talking about previously?
Fuck, I don't know.
The story, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Right.
the lack thereof, really.
Yeah.
Okay, I went on again. I went on about the speaker and his dumbass little cutscene.
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
giant blue fuck off Pluto god thing.
That thing's Pluto until proven otherwise. Bungie ain't giving me the story.
Oh yeah,
Alright.
and didn't they tell us to make up your own story?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they did.
What did we decide on? The queen and her brother an incestuous relationship. The Watcher is Pluto. What else? Something about the Guardians being. Oh, what was it?
Zombies.
Yeah.
They space magic us back from the dead when the game starts, and your character is not confused at all about this.
Oh yeah. Shaq is in the game, and therefore it is in canon with Space Jam, and therefore also in canon with Charles Barkley's Shut Up and Jam Gaiden.
Which is also
Super canon, guys.
Yeah, our canon's kind of fucked up, but it's really great.
Oh yeah. we need to give a detailed timeline of the events of Space Jam, then Charles Barkley's Shut Up
Holy
and Jam
crap! I
Gaiden.
just realized something.
Oh god. Buckle in, people.
The Traveler's really Pluto, right?
Oh my
and-
god.
You know what Pluto really is? Pluto's round, right? It's a giant basketball.
Sweet Jesus.
I love it.
Beautiful.
I demand that Bungie change it. I demand it so that Bungie changes the start of the game to Peter Dinklage saying, "Everybody get up."
Oh boy. No, please. Let's not even go there.
And as
Nova
soon as you
Slam.
start fighting enemies, you start hearing it. Everybody
No.
get up. It's time to
No.
slam, yeah.
For the love of God, no. There's only so much nonsense I can take.
Oh
Anyway.
my god.
Anyway, continuing on with my experiences in Destiny. At least with Bungie's previous project, Halo, you could generally know about what you were fighting, right? You could
Yeah.
you can know about the Covenant. Heck, if you look deep enough, you could find out about the Flood. But this-
your enemies had personality. They had tactics. They were different. They seemed interesting, and you knew a little bit about them. You didn't know a lot. At first, all you knew is Covenants are aliens. They want humanity dead. That was
Nice
the
and varied aliens.
Huh?
With a sense of humor.
nice and varied aliens. Very nice.
As far as the grunts were concerned, they had a sense of humor too.
Oh yeah.
And like none of
If
With
you
their-
think
and-
those games didn't have a sense of humor, Grunt Birthday Party Skull. That's all you need.
and with Destiny, the Fallen, the Hive, the Cabal, the Vex.
The same question is axed upon all of them.
What
Who the fuck
hell
are
is
they?
Exactly. That's another thing.
Who
that
and
bothers
what
me.
the fuck are they?
I want to know more about these alien races, especially the Cabal. I want to know. I want them to tell me the story instead of giving me a freaking grimoire card and telling me to go read it online.
Yeah, there's a sentiment
That's
online
stupid.
that if you have to leave the game to learn about the game, you have failed.
That's bad.
And from playing the game alone, you can only assert this: aliens, religious aliens, militant aliens, robots.
Pretty much. I mean,
Jesus,
you-
I mean, you may
yeah,
as well just play Warhammer.
It's
There's
just
more story in like the makeup of a space marine than is in the entirety of Destiny.
And that, granted, that let's not get into Warhammer.
yeah. John here is our big Warhammer
I'm
guru.
yeah. I spent way too much time in Warhammer. I know too much.
I like it though.
You know too much, and you don't even know half about it, do you?
I know. No, that's the problem. Yeah. But no.
Problem or the beauty of it.
Yeah,
But,
that's the problem. The alien designs are so good. They're so awesome. Just like looking at the Fallen, those like the forearms, the really awesome helmet, the fucking capes. That looks awesome. The Cabal, the giant
Hive?
shield guys. They're massive hulking beasts.
Oh yeah.
The Hive, my personal favorite alien, just because of their design.
Their design is
Like
pretty
you just
fucking
want to
awesome.
know what their deal is.
Yeah.
But the race, even the race that seems to be set up to be the big problem in the universe, the Vex, you don't know anything about them. You know that they're robots. You know that finding this Black Garden or whatever the crap. You know that killing the heart of the Black Garden or whatever the crap it is, and killing it will somehow heal the Traveler. And you're just left asking why, like in general.
And you know, the questions come up during the game like, what is the Traveler? Why is it here? Why is it dying? What are the ghosts exactly? Why are we guardians?
What the hell was the collapse?
What the hell was the collapse? How is this the last city on Earth? I
It's
mean,
just-
fucking
yeah.
Russia seems pretty goddamn barren, and the Guardians seem to be doing a pretty fucking good job of keeping the Fallen out of the shit. Seriously, is it not possible for there to be a colony of Guardians that set up shop? Is that
man,
really
imagine,
too
like-
crazy?
I would have loved to find a side quest somewhere helping a group of humans colonize, but whoa, fuck
Mm.
no.
You know what bothers me the most though?
What?
That these questions, along with other areas, could potentially be answered in the fucking expansion packs.
Oh, duh. Fucking A, yeah.
That's gonna be so disappointing if that turns out to be true.
It's like, we'll patch the... it's like the idea of, we'll just patch the story in later. Like, that is fucking mental, man.
And charge us for it. And charge us for it.
Yeah, and like it's already come to light that a lot of these things, a lot of these DLC areas are in the game.
Yeah, we're
They're
on
already
disc.
in there. They're already on disc, and that is fucked up beyond belief. We'll get into on disc DLC when we talk about DLC in general. But let's talk about this right now. How much this pisses us off, because this is fucking bullshit.
There is a word.
I'm gonna come at this purely from an outside perspective. I'm gonna look at this like, you know, as a consumer guy, as a, you know,
Right.
kind of. Let me get this straight. You're charging people for this game $60, and the consumers say there's no story. And you know what? I look at it and I can kind of agree. There's not a lot of substance to this game. Now, granted, you say it's an MMO. You say it's gonna get big later, and you know what? You're probably right about that. MMOs start off fairly slow. Sometimes. Modern MMOs start out very slow. That is true. But there has to be something there to keep people coming back. That is the thing that hooked people with World of Warcraft. It had a canon backed up behind it. It had Warcraft 1, 2, and 3, and all the expansions for that, to take canon from, and to build a world around. You are trying to start a brand new world with an MMO, which in my experience doesn't work out too fucking well. And you've done this with no story. You've got a lot of interesting concepts, but they've all just been thrown at a wall, and there's nothing connecting them. You've got problems here, Bungie, and if you charge to start drawing connections...
There's a word for that, brother. That's a word we use around here. It's called heresy.
Yes, that is fucking heresy, son. Beyond that, that is bad fucking business. You are gonna lose so many people's respect. Bungie, people fucking love you, man. You made Halo. You took the first-person shooter genre, and you made it story-driven. Like, fucking
Well,
hey, you
to
guys
an
worked a
extent.
goddamn miracle in perspective. I mean, you look at what the first-person shooter is. For most parts, it's military, boom, boom, blow up. Bro, check this out. But that was after Halo, to be honest. And let's be honest, the original Halo was kind of just boom, boom, shoot the aliens. But with some
it
sort
still
of
had to make
undercurrent of
those
story. It
personalities.
had something interesting behind it. And eventually they expanded upon that and made a really interesting universe. It really would have been so much better if this was a Halo MMO. Because if that was the case, then they would really... Then this lack of story would be kind of alright, so long as we were still able to explore the world of Halo. But as it is, this brand new IP, this brand new world, brand new universe, and you're telling us nothing about it. That is a big fucking problem. And to be honest, guys, I don't know if Destiny can recover from this.
Let me ask you a question from your experience.
Yeah.
I pondered this idea around a little bit, but does it feel like maybe this might have been a Halo thing at one point if Bungie and Microsoft didn't split?
Honestly, no. I mean, it's I don't know. It could have gone both ways actually, because Destiny could have been a Halo game, but on the other hand, from what we've played, we can see that it's got its own different look and feel than a Halo game.
It's got its own ideas.
That is true. That is true.
But if they were partnered with Microsoft, maybe, I can see Microsoft going, come on, guys, we got to make another Halo game. We got to milk this franchise. We got to get as much money as we can, and we got to actually put a story with it. Because Halo already has a story, right? And it has a great story.
In my personal opinion, pretty good one.
And they could have taken elements from, Halo's stories and then blended it with this if it was just going to be a standalone, new game. If it was going to be Destiny, pretty much. But if it were another Halo game, then I really think a lot of problems that were in it we wouldn't be seeing them now. Although, it would have its fair share of problems, because all games have that. But
yeah,
of course, I can't see it being a Halo game.
Now that I think about it, maybe my previous suggestion might have been too upfront. I mean, just because they split with Microsoft doesn't mean that this was originally going to be Halo.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily mean that.
No.
It's a possibility.
They could have had the idea of let's make another Halo game, but let's make this an MMO.
They tried to make Halo at one point.
They did what?
They tried to make a Halo MMO at one point.
Yeah, I remember the rumors about that. And this could have been the idea of it. Like, Destiny could have started as the concept for a Halo MMO. Yeah, that's how it could have started, but it eventually evolved into its own thing. And I agree that Destiny's got its own thing going. It's different from Halo, most definitely. It's got a little bit of the feel of Halo, because I have played some of it. I was over at Rhino's house, and I did play some of it, so I know how the game feels.
The actual gameplay, great.
It is. It's fun.
Yeah.
It feels like Halo. It's tight.
It feels like a
smooth.
good FPS.
It's tight. It's smooth. The guns feel heavy. The enemies feel smart. And the environments are pretty nice.
And actually the base types of enemies, they are actually pretty varied.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They're
Like
nice
you jump into a group, and you're gonna have a few leaders and a bunch of scrubs, and then like some in betweens. Jumping into any one group, it seems like you're gonna be fighting some different tactics as well, because you're gonna be fighting some. Sometimes there are melee guys, sometimes there are more ranged guys, there are sneaky guys. Like, there is some variety to the enemies, and but to me, that's what makes the lack of story all that more, heartbreaking. Is like, Jesus, this is so varied. I want to know more about these people. But
like,
and enemies are varied.
Back to this, but it's a big problem.
It is. I mean, when you trace
facts, we have zero facts about them.
Yeah, it's like when you trace the root of a lot of Destiny's problems, that it's all stemming back from the fact that we know jack shit about anything.
you obviously have some damn questions as you're going through this game. Everybody freaking will.
Yeah,
Pay attention.
without a doubt.
And then you get scenes like, I don't have time to explain why I don't have time to explain.
Heresy again.
Oh God.
Now let's address the rumors that... Now, these are rumors. We don't have evidence of this. Let's keep that in mind. That there was a story to Destiny. They were writing it, and Activision said, no, we need more this, or we need more that, or eventually just got cut because of time constraints. And they had this huge idea for a story. They had all this narrative they were going to put in the game, but for one reason or another, and it ended up not going into the final build.
And like
what do you guys think about that rumor?
well, like it's not 100%. It's never 100% one way or the other. But like, Bungie made Halo, and it had this awesome story, and all of a sudden they just make this with next to nothing.
It's suspicious.
You go online, and we already addressed that.
Yeah.
And at one point they had Microsoft, another one they had Activision. Might have had a factor. That's all we can say. That's all we can say.
In terms of the different story that I heard about, well, first of all, Destiny as it is now, the story, I'm gonna call it the story because it does have something in it, but it's not entirely coherent. You don't know why you're doing it. But anyways, the story that could have been was potentially you would have been taken in by a band of, I think it was either exiled guardians or just a group of guardians that eventually as you progress through the game, you would have found out that the Traveler is the bad guy. Now keep in mind this is all rumor, and this is what the story was apparently. Supposedly.
As far as we know, this is what it was.
Yeah, but I honestly think that would have been an interesting twist.
It would have been. It would have been very interesting.
like the big round thing that every human worships suddenly becomes the bad guy. That would have been.
That would have been especially with humanity on the brink as it is. There would have been a lot of chaos. There would have been a lot of craziness. There would have been a lot of questions.
That would have been great.
And factions like the Cabal and the Fallen and the Awoken, with the Queen and the Consort, could have been much more interesting ideas. Because maybe the Cabal actually worships the Traveler. Maybe they've heard him talk, and maybe they're trying to wipe out humanity because they see them as the false guardians of the Traveler.
Right.
Maybe the Awoken know who the Traveler really is because they've traveled the stars and they've seen its brethren and its ilk, and they don't trust humanity because
I remember something that Zur said, in the current game.
Yeah.
Your Traveler has a dark opposite or something to that effect.
You're a Traveler.
Or that's just the way that Zur talks. He doesn't say the Traveler. He says,
"Your travel has a dark mirror."
Your Traveler has a dark mirror. That's what he said.
Interesting.
So maybe some of these other races, they've seen like this quote unquote dark mirror, and they think the Traveler is the exact same thing, and he maybe still is. And they see us as the minions of it.
Yeah, quite possible.
And if that's not the case, Bungie, it took me all 5 minutes it took me like 3 minutes to get that point across, and you had way more cutscenes than I did.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're starting to run out of time here, so I think we're gonna wrap up our first episode. We are probably gonna come back to Destiny at a later point.
Yeah.
I have closing thoughts on Destiny.
All right. Well, yeah. Let's end with our closing thoughts.
Well, with its obviously flawed story, it's few flaws in the loot system, and every other problem that's there, it is an enjoyable game. As I said, it's a good time waster. You can just boot it up, play for a few hours, and really have fun. Whether it be in Crucible or in the other planets, it is just really good fun. That's my honest opinion on it.
John, what's do you have any thoughts on this before I give mine?
Yeah, and I'm coming at this from a very objective standpoint, someone who has not played the game. It has potential. It looks like it has potential. I'm more looking at this from a marketing standpoint. I'm more thinking, okay, I'm thinking to myself, the future of this game is very much up in the air right now. Its future is in jeopardy. And depending on how Bungie and Activision approach the next few months and the next year, is going to either make or break this game. Once I get my hands on it, I'll have more to say about that. But as it is, I think it's teetering on the edge of oblivion. Rhino?
That is true, and it sort of ties into what'll be at the end of my closing thoughts. Like, first of all, I feel the need to clarify that I mentioned Activision a few times earlier, and it could have just as easily been Bungie making a lot of severe mistakes. Like, there's no 100% telling who's at fault here, but that's not my closing thoughts. My closing thoughts are similar to John. It does have a lot of potential. It certainly, and just like Drift said, it is a lot of fun. But what I've noticed is that while they are sort of dancing around the loot issue right about now, they definitely seem to be making some, at least a tiny bit of effort to try to fix this as much as they can. I have been Rhino the Legend.
I have been Drift the Outsider.
And I have been John, your master of ceremonies. This has been Gamecult Radio. We'll see you all next week.